Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today is Thursday, April 30th. This is your next reading on the Civil War due tomorrow on May 1st. The posting you're looking at right now is not complete. I do these ahead of time. You'll see up here this video as well as other videos on the topic, the reading response questions. They'll be posted at a later time. So our topic today is titled The Life in the Army. And it's a short read. It says in this section you'll learn about soldiers who fought in the war and the hardships they endured. So this is really looking at who fought in this war and why was it challenging to fight in it. We have a bunch of new terms here. The first term, of course, is hygiene. Hygiene is the conditions and practices that promote health. So it's things like, washing your hair and brushing your teeth and clipping your toenails, and it's hygiene, taking care of yourself. Rifle. We know what a rifle is. It's a barrel gun that shot a bolt long distances. We're going to read about how rifles became um, better technology during the Civil War. The minie ball, which is a bullet with a hollow base. We're going to talk about that. And then lastly, the ironclad, which is a warship covered with iron. This first section here is actually a really important read. It talks about who fought in this war and why they fought in this war. So most of the people fought in this war were young men between the ages of about 18 and 30. So young men who maybe didn't have a career yet, hadn't maybe got married or had children. They're kind of like looking to see what their life holds in front of them. So a lot of young men, mostly farmers, who came from farm towns and farm communities, and they fought for a variety of reasons, as it talks about in here. A lot of them. They fought for adventure and glory. They fought to escape a life of boredom. Some did it for the money. There was recruitment money for actually recruiting into the army. And it was there were a lot of different reasons on both sides of the war why they actually served. And some served for the cause. Some for like, hey, I want to restore the Union, or some were like, hey, I want to help, defend the South. The Northern Union Army, they wore blue uniforms, and the Southern Confederate Army wore gray uniforms. A lot of times they met out on battlefields where they could clearly distinguish who was who. The second part of the reading here that I want to look at talks about the hardships of Army life. It talks in particular about Army camps. And Army camps were absolutely filthy. They were disgusting. There were thousands or tens of thousands of men camped together. Most of the war was in Army camps waiting for orders to go out to a battlefield somewhere. And you can imagine all these men far away from home. They don't have the supplies to take care of themselves. They all have to use the restroom. They all have to, disease and sickness spread very quickly within these camps. And one of the things that we find historically is that disease actually killed way more soldiers in this war than battle wounds actually did. Their hygiene was pretty poor. Men would go weeks without bathing or washing themselves. The next part of the reading here talks about military technology. There were changes in military technology, and talks in a lot part about rifles. Rifles have been around for a number of years, but had gotten to be much more advanced. They had grooved. Uh, they were more grooved so that they could project things farther and faster. New bullet technology like the minie ball had a hollowed base. A lot of times in the Civil War, they put shrapnel in there, and so when this thing actually penetrated the skin, it all these small pieces of metal would penetrate into the interior organs. And then, of course, were ironclad warships, these giant ships covered in iron with cannons. This is part of how the Union would occupy the South, blockading it along the Gulf and the eastern coast and up the Mississippi with these ironclad warships. And literally, one of these things could tool down a river and just completely destroy an entire town that was on the water. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the reading. It's short. I want you to read it, think critically about it. There are some response questions I want you to answer, and it's due tomorrow. So, I hope you have a good time with that. Work hard, be nice, enjoy. If you have any questions, please let me know. Bye.